Thomas really likes about this young man. Shot clock at 8. Tinsley long with the 3. Picking has been so very productive and doing it to step on over the last couple of games.
His team guard is not a pitcher. He's got a big size advantage against Tinsley. When he's going and taking it and taking it out.
The Angels in return. Davis offensive rebound. Pippen on the cut. Taking the back over Jermaine O'Neal. O'Neal clears the rebound. And those backs up against really gone by no scope.
This is just easy for Indiana, but they're where they want to go, and they've been slow to get in it. Last time Tinsley put the ball in the air, this time against the clock, Jermaine O'Neal.
Spins out for O'Neal, and here come the Blazers the other way. Last night, Isaiah Thomas was not happy with the energy exerted by Indiana at the top of the game. He called a 20-second timeout just 53 seconds in, and the score was just 2-0.
Yeah, but he was right. By 20.
Pippen misses with a finger roll. Lid on the basket.
Oh.
Tinsley sets up Jalen Rose. Tinsley had a clear path to the basket, but instead sets up Rose.
Passed up a layup.
That's why Tinsley's averaging 8.1 assists, best among NBA rookies.
Now that's got to be up there with the best as well, Bonzi Wells.
So Bonzi responds. We're even at 2. Miller has Derek run at him with the 3, misses the 2, and Jermaine O'Neal with the offensive rebound and the putback. Bonzi, Derek Anderson got lost. Jalen Rose says, hey, we're not looking.
Well, both teams are making some mistakes. First, you see nobody box Jermaine O'Neal, and then nobody covers Derek Anderson right at the slot. And, you know, that's what coaches are always talking about when you're talking defensive awareness. You got to be aware of everybody out there on the floor, just not your man.
Tinsley, his first bucket of the night. He averages 8 a game. Bonzi again. Well, Steve, you touched on it earlier tonight. The biggest improvement in Bonzi's game is in the perimeter shot.
That is a shot that you could give Bonzi Wells, and that's the book on him. Lay off of him, make him beat you from the side, and he's worked on it enough to where now his drive is going to be very, very difficult to shut down.
Dale Davis. Wells has the hot hand, not that time, and Jalen Rose the rebound.
But again, look how much space he had. I mean, there was no one close to Bonzi Wells, and, you know, a guy can really become a different player as the ball goes in, as his confidence builds.
Jermaine O'Neal, the double team in the air ball. Last year, Jermaine had all kinds of problems playing against the Blazers, only shot 32% from the floor. Wells against Foster. Wallace against O'Neal. Dale Davis cutting, deflected, and here comes Indiana. Miller running the floor and giving Indiana the lead at 8-6.
One more dribble, and he would have missed him, but he saw him all the way.
Wallace against Foster. Jermaine the double team. D.A. finding an open Dale Davis, and a beautiful touch pass from Derek to set up double D.
Now that is what they did well with this lineup for the last 2 ball games. Move the ball, move themselves. After a slow start against the Clippers, they finally got into a rhythm late in the 3rd quarter, and then they control the game from that point on. And they've got to remember how they win games.
Rose puts it on the deck. Tinsley missing there. Jermaine O'Neal, the offensive rebound. Jalen Rose misses from the corner. So some quick shots and perimeter efforts from Indiana. Derek Anderson thought about the 3. Foster, no call. As Rasheed went to the rack, had it knocked free. All even at 8. 5 minutes gone by first quarter. Miller. And Jeff Foster swoops in. And Rasheed Wallace, as the Blazers fortunate to force a miss, and Overthrown for Bonzi Wells from Scottie Pippen.
That's okay. You're going to take the push pass to Bonzi Wells. He was wide open, and you got to look for that opportunity every time you can get it. You got to remember to box Foster and O'Neal. Those guys are offensive rebounders, and it will give the Pacers second opportunity.
Yeah, Foster averages 7 rebounds a game, and O'Neal 9. So, got to get a body on those guys.
Now, Foster's not a big inside scorer. They get a foul against Dale Davis.
Dale Davis, the push against Foster with 6:38 to go first quarter. Foster in his 3rd season out of Southwest Texas State.
You see that elbow in there, and then the push off, and if you are Dale Davis, you got to make Foster show you that he's going to beat you with that kind of move. He's never been a great inside force. He's more of an activity player, and that's what Isaiah Thomas likes about him.
Isaiah Thomas going for a little bit more size. Reggie Miller is down. Jonathan Bender is in. And again, Tinsley with a perimeter miss. Pippen almost too far for Dale Davis. Derek Anderson has an open 3, short. Dale Davis, offensive rebound, and foul. So Dale Davis working hard. Jonathan Bender, the 2nd-footer. The 7-footer, I should say.
Both teams having problem finding the big people when the ball goes in the air, and that's why the second opportunity. Nobody even close to Dale Davis in terms of defensive rebounding position, and that one bounced right back to him.
Dale good with the first free throw. Last year, Dale averaged 12 points in the 2 games against Indiana on 62% field goal shooting. Blazers out in front, 9-8.
Davis is lathered up, so you know he's into this game, and it'll be real interesting to see how he handles himself emotionally through the course of this game. If it's a tight one, look for Dale Davis to try to make some big defensive plays.
Tinsley on the penetration. O'Neal's pass knocked away. Blazers with another steal. Pippen and Bonzi running the floor, and Pippen jamming it down. Pippen with words from Mike Callahan. The official felt O'Neal had fouled him, with the Blazers with a 3-point lead.
Well, he lost control of the ball, so he's saying I didn't lose the control of the ball for nothing, but he was able to put the cap on it anyway.
10 on the shot clock for Tinsley.
Lots of standing by the Pacers at their offensive end, which again puts Tinsley in a position to shoot. I thought he was averaging 8 assists again.
Jonathan Bender comes away with the loose ball and lays it in. Their lineup looks this way. Stoudemire and Kerr in the backcourt. Kemp, Patterson, and Zach Randolph in the front line. Indiana makes changes too. Best and Miller in the backcourt. Crozier, O'Neal, and Rose on the front line for the Indiana Pacers. Zach Randolph against Jermaine O'Neal. On the repost, 8 on the shot clock. Zach trying to shake free. Little double clutch by Zach. Jermaine O'Neal forced Randolph to take a tough shot in there. You see the field goal shooting, 57% for the Blazers, 40 for Indiana.
Now the Pacers almost in the same kind of mode where they were last night, where they allowed the opponent to go where they wanted out on the floor in the first half of play, and they paid the price for it. So Portland has gone to the bench. The players have responded as well, and it's up to the Pacers to try to change the energy of the game. Patterson.
The finger roll dances won't drop. Zach Randolph outdueled by Jalen Rose for the rebound, but a good, strong, aggressive move by Ruben Patterson. Crozier will unleash a 3. Austin Crozier can do that for you. Sometimes he gets a little encouraged. Last night he made his first shot, then missed 4 straight and was never heard from again.
He's a hot and cold player, but you know what he likes to do is play from the outside to the basket. So he likes to shoot, then drive. Kemp trying to roll.
Lost it on the way up. Crozier on the defense. Rasheed Wallace getting ready to check in. Best challenging. Stoudemire scored.
You know, somewhere in Isaiah Thomas's mind, he wants Travis Best to become Benny Johnson, his old teammate. A guy that comes off the bench and that can really be an igniter at the offensive end and do a lot of things. He's not a great playmaker when he just focuses on running the team, but he's always been a great scorer, and he's got to understand that. This is a big year for him, His contract is going to be running out, and he's thinking about lending.
Travis Best missing on the free throw. Blazers lead has been as much as 9. Right now it's 6 at 33-27. Stoudemire with Reggie Miller on him. Ruben Patterson feeding Wallace. 5 on the shot clock. Rasheed on the back down. His turnaround is long. Ruben Patterson gobbles up the offensive rebound. So the Blazers reset Damon with the play call. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter.
When Portland gets in trouble, it's when they slow things down and they don't move the ball, they don't move themselves. Then they have to end up taking tough shots against the clock.
Wallace at 3. Crozier the rebound. Miller being checked by Kerr. Jermaine O'Neal, his turnaround too long. Best is right there, got Kemp in the air, and Best will head right back to the free throw line. Kemp commits the foul, his first. That miss by Best a moment ago was his first miss of the season. He's 7 of 8 from the line.
But, you know, coaches get upset when players don't do the little things. And Maurice Cheek just came over and wanted to know how many offensive rebounds have the Indiana Pacers gotten. And, you know, what he's trying to get his guys to focus on is, you know, when we get beat because we don't rebound. And we, you know, when we give the opponent not shooting the ball well, catch up.
Steve Kerr. 35-29. Dale Davis getting ready to return to the Blazers lineup despite having 2 fouls. Miller gets loose on a screen, misses. A Crozier offensive rebound. Rose will let it fly.
Another example right there. You do a pretty good job. Reggie Miller has to rush his shot. Rebound comes off a little funny, and Crozier gets it. Rose finishes the play.
And when the Blazers were struggling earlier this season, it was second chance points by the opposition that got him in trouble. Damon comes up firing in and out. Jalen Rose is open. Ruben Patterson trying to fight through a Reggie Miller screen. Foul on Patterson. Timeout on the floor. The Blazers, the most career three-pointers in NBA history. It's Miller time. Reggie Miller.
Indiana winning this ball game in two categories, even though they're down on the scoreboard right now. They're getting better props from the bench, 17-6, and the second chance points, 10-5. Portland has given up 7 offensive rebounds. The Pacers have a total of 15, so that's what's agitating Maurice Cheeks right now.
Best on the drive against Damon. Tough shot, and Best draws the foul from Damon, and the Blazers in foul difficulty as a team here early in the second quarter. 8:36 to go, and already the Blazers 14 fouls.
This is the third time in a short period of time that Travis Best has gone to the line. And again, when you're talking about a guy that has the ability to score, to get to the line, Travis Best is one of those kinds of players. Now, he might not like coming off the bench, but he might relish this role if he can get runs like this going for the rest of the season.
Fans, we invite you to stop by a participating Northwest Dodge dealer for your chance to enter to win the First to 20 contest. If your entry is selected and you correctly name the first player to score 20 points in that game, you win $1,000. Jim Arnott has selected Damon Stoudemire to be tonight's First to 20. Free throws even, and the Blazer lead at 2, 35-33. Last night, Indiana was down 20 in the second quarter to New York and blew them away in the second half. Rasheed fouled on the pass-off.
Travis Best reaching across.
And Maurice Cheeks is going to go to the bench. Send Scottie Pippen and Bonzi Wells back in the ball game as you see the foul against Best.
Also, number 6, Bonzi Wells.
And when players haven't played together, you lose a little bit of something. Damon's been off for a couple of games, hasn't really been used to playing with the second unit, trying to continue what Scottie Pippen established and move the ball, move people, but there was a little bit more standing with that second group. Let's see if Pippen and Wells can re-energize the Blazers.
Shot clock at 6.
Trying to go to Bonzi Wells.
On the drive, the spin by Miller. Tough shot. Oh, and he's going to get called for an offensive foul. Push off by Bonzi Wells.
His first personal.
Pretty easy call to make. The last time Bonzi Wells pushed off was on an attempted dunk, but he'll spin and he commits to the shot. And he's not going to let Austin Crozier get to it.
Derek Anderson getting ready to check back in. Indiana on an 11-4 run. Looking to tie or take the lead with a long one. Inside 8 minutes to go. Clock's at 7. Miller over Kerr. Misses that 3. Pippen the rebound, and here come the Blazers on the counterattack. Dale Davis, good inside position. Kerr's going to drive it, and it's goaltended by Jermaine O'Neal.
The book on Steve Kerr, don't give him the jump shot. And they ran at him, but not under control. He dances right by Reggie Miller. All he's thinking is get it up and let something good happen. It's 2 more.
Smile from Steve Kerr. He's got 4. And the Blazer lead is 37-33. Shot clock down to 7. Miller misses another 3.
All of Miller's shots have been on the front rim, just a little bit flat and tight. Pippen a little bit too much of a lead, and it's a tough pass to complete when you are at half court, and Bonzi Wells is almost underneath the basket. He's got no room to go to get the ball.
Blazers their 4th turnover. Derek Anderson returns to the Portland lineup. So the Blazers with all 5 starters in here as we come to 7 minutes to go. There's the turnover story. Blazers with 5 in Portland with 5. Blazers with 5 in Indiana with 4. Harrington on the drive. And got by Rasheed Wallace.
Al Harrington has a lot of quickness, and this year the one thing that he's done better than ever is play under control. So you've got to be aware of that first quick step from Al Harrington. Portland's got to go to Wallace now.
He was free for a second. Pippen going to the scoop, and a foul going to be called. Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine commits his first foul, and that will send Scotty to the line for a pair.
Wallace had Harrington on his back, and Jermaine O'Neal then stepped across trying to shut down the drive of Pippen. But the defense was reacting to the mismatch between Wallace and Al Harrington. Pippen missed the first.
Scotty on the season, just over 69% from the line.
You know, after smacking it pretty good in that first quarter, the Trailblazers only have 7 points so far in just about 6 minutes of play.
Best lost Pippen on the crossover, and Travis Best, a big reason why Indiana's bench is doing big business. Bonzi over the top. Oh, what a play! The pass by Pippen off the mark. Wells, an in-flight course correction and the lay-in. Bonzi in double digits with 11. Derek Anderson also with 11. Harrington spoons out from the perimeter. Pippen trailing, thought about the 3. He's going to attack the rim, scoop and score.
Well, he had a mismatch again. Jermaine O'Neal guarding him. Pippen took one look and came hard to the rim. 3 1/4 for Pippen.
Blazers by 5, and Indiana's offense standing around, really not initiating until the shot clock is in single digits. Best the miss.
Well, when they get the rebound, they got a chance to run. The Pacers have been slow to get back, and Bonzi Wells finished what he tried to start for Derek Anderson.
Timeout, Indiana, 6%. Luck happens. Brought to you by Spirit Mountain Casino, Grand Ronde, Oregon.
Now, Tinsley's back in the ball game as Travis Best takes a seat, but it was Best that helped get the Pacers back into the ball game. Bender in the game as well. Both of these coaches, they change the lineup. You know, if something isn't working, they'll try to find something that is going to work and it's going to continue to work.
Tinsley open with 4 on the shot clock. Rasheed Wallace with the rebound. Well, Maurice Cheek says, I don't have a set rotation. I go by instinct. Interesting, we have two former point guards coaching these two teams tonight.
Yeah, they both go by instinct. I mean, you know, they do some unusual things, and as long as you get your team to respond, that's the most important thing. If, when you make substitutions, you don't lose your players, then you can do those sorts of things. It's when you start making substitutions and players start to drop their heads, they start to move toward the end of the bench and away from the rest of the team, that you're going to find the coach is going to have problems with his substitutes.
Jermaine O'Neal deflected that last rebound out of bounds, so the Blazers with a fresh shot clock. Inside of 4.5 to go second quarter. Blazers trying desperately to get it to Rasheed. His hook is off the mark. Tinsley. Jermaine O'Neal pulled the string on the hook. Bonzi. Pippen. That's a three, and it's through. Scottie Pippen.
The ball is moved before the defense can react. Wells thought about a shot and gave it up to Pippen, who had a better one.
Blazers their largest lead of the night at 47-37. Bender going to drive it and finger roll it in.
Bender is an odd-sized position player. You don't know whether he's a big shooting guard or a small forward, but he can drive the ball. He's got a great first step, so you got to close out on him. You really got to make him a little bit more tentative, but he's in a pretty good groove.
Blazers their sixth turnover of the night. Pacers with 4. They only had 4 in the second half last night against New York. A big reason why they were able to come from 20 down and win the ball game going away.
Now, their last 2 ball games, they've gotten off the floor to win games, so they're very confident of their ability to finish.
Pippen elevating after Pippen and Anderson collaborated on the steal.
Pippen with 9 1/4. I think Pippen likes his new position.
I think he does very much. Oh, my goodness, Jonathan Bender. Well, you said Isaiah thinks he's their best long-range shooter, and he's certainly proving it.
You know, he's not the big moment player yet that Reggie Miller is, you know, but this kid is he's a stick, and you got to respect that.
Blazers turn it over on the double dribble. The Blazers lead is 7. Get that radio tuned to FM 101 KUFO for details. And visually impaired basketball fans can now request the 2001-2002 NBA schedule in Braille. For a free Braille NBA schedule, call or write your nearest library.
So Bender is off the bench with 12. Patterson comes in the ball game. Dale Davis will take a seat. And Scottie Pippen is much like Ruben Patterson right now. Hard to classify a position for him. And really, what they both need is some activity. And both seem to flourish when there's movement out on the floor.
And you see the Blazers talking amongst themselves. It's an interesting lineup. Wells, Pippen, Wallace, Anderson, and Patterson.
Well, you know, it's a team of almost the same size with the exception of Wallace. So you have a lot of versatility, and you can switch a lot of things without losing a lot in the switch.
Jermaine O'Neal against Rasheed Wallace. Bonzi on the double team. Shot clock's at 7. Miller. You know that won't happen. Reggie had 17 of his 21 in the second half, as Indiana beat the Knicks 103-95 last night to go 5-2. Bonzi Wells has a seam in the middle, partially defected by Bender, and now a foul call. Al Harrington called for the foul.
Well, Patterson and Harrington, they're going to be going at each other, and this time Al Harrington gets caught after the block by Jonathan Bender. Quick reaction by Bender to get a piece of it in a corner, which we could not see. A push by Al Harrington.
Harrington, his second foul, just the third Pacer foul.
And they're not going to give him the 24 seconds. Ball didn't touch the rim.
So David Jones and Tom Washington at the scorer's table. Going to get the shot clock reset. And it will go to 14 with 2:09 to go in the first half. Wallace against O'Neal. Rashid to back down his turnaround off the mark. Bonzi Wells saves the rebound, but right to Miller. Now, Bonzi Wells was on the baseline anyway, so it wasn't a save, and Indiana gets it back.
In the games that Wallace has struggled, it's because he hasn't made a decision to be offensive-minded quick enough. And that's allowed the defender to either force him to fade a little bit more or somebody to come in and get a piece of the ball.
Miller thought about the three, but Patterson ran at him, and then the Pacers turn it over as Harrington fumbles it out of bounds. Rashid with 2 points and 6 rebounds. Patterson, little spin going to the rim. And that's what Ruben Patterson does best. He'll give you the spin and take it strong inside. Blazers up 51-45. Tinsley on the drive, lost it. Jermaine O'Neal digs it out and banks it in over Rasheed Wallace. Just the 3rd and 4th points of the night for O'Neal. As we hit 1 minute to play in the second quarter. Patterson against Harrington. Bonzi thought about the three. He's going to drive it and commit the offensive foul. For Bonzi, his second. And a delay of game warning against the Blazers, as Bonzi made up his mind to go to the rim. 22nd timeout taken by the Pacers with 50.1 to go in the quarter. This 22nd timeout brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
You've never seen a player take so many offensive foul calls against him so personally. Bonzi Wells really gets bothered when he gets called.
Rebound. Located in the Rose-Quarter Commons is the official orthopedist of the Portland Trail Blazers. Call 503-REBOUND for all your orthopedic and physical therapy needs. Well, you can never count Indiana out. New York had them down by 20. Indiana comes back and outscores them 58-35 in the second half. Blazers up 10. Indiana comes right back and down just 4 now. This is a team, Indiana, that averages better than 102 points per ball game. They have offensive firepower.
Well, in the previous ball game against the Sacramento Kings, they were down. They outscored them 17-1 in the 4th quarter to get control of the game. So, you know, you got to play through. They're a young team. They'll make some mistakes for you, but they believe they can finish. There's a mistake by Tinslow.
Patterson, a steal. Wham! And the Blazer bench comes alive. Rubin with 6, and that's the Blazer lead, 53-47. Game and shot clocks virtually synchronized. We'll be going back to Portland and joining Ann Schatz at the conclusion of the second quarter. Damon Stoudemire back in. Tinsley gets around Patterson. Misses the leaner, but Harrington is there. 3 seconds to go. Damon with a head of steam. A three. Good if it goes.
You know, Portland came out shooting 60%. They cooled off a little while, then they picked it back up. So anytime you're stroking it that way, you could be ahead. Indiana responded with some very good three-point shooting, some good offensive rebounding, in order to find our way back in the game. Not a lot of free throws so far for either team. The Blazers have been complaining about getting hit and not getting the call. We'll see if that changes during the second half. But it's been almost an even contest. The scoreboard reflects it, and the Indiana Pacers have been a big finisher, so Portland's going to have to finish their action strong tonight.
And Travis Best is going to start the second half at the point guard for Indiana. Wallace going to the rim, and the hook falls off. Dale Davis couldn't get the putback to fall.
In a matchup that he's dominated in, past meetings, Wallace against O'Neal, both of them struggling, but they've got to get Rasheed Wallace in the game at some point offensively.
Jalen Rose and Best misconnect.
So Best starts the second half.
Blazers turn it over. Rose on the steal. Best. Jeff Foster, the offensive rebound. Reggie Miller. That's a three for Reggie Miller. And the Pacers are within one.
Well, Miller started that second half that way. And, if he sees one, he thinks two's right behind it. So Pippen's going to really have to try to keep him from getting his hands on the ball.
Indiana did not miss from three-point land in the second half last night. Wallace misses from the perimeter. Dale Davis steals the rebound back, loses it as he was hit by Jalen Rose. Let's check out our top performers from the first half. Bonzi with 13, Derek with 11, Pippen with 10, and like Derek, 5 assists. Jonathan Bender with a dozen, Best with 8, and Jalen Rose with 6. And Indiana with better pop off the bench than from their starters in the first half. In fact, Indiana's starters providing 30 points. I beg your pardon, the bench providing 30 points and the starters 19.
Rose telling Davy Jones, I blocked that, I know this guy. I know what he's going to do. I blocked that. I anticipated after I turned it over.
Dale Davis with 6 points and 9 rebounds. The foul against Rose was his second. And Dale good with 2 free throws. Miller sets up Jermaine. And Jermaine O'Neal, who was relatively quiet in the first half, his first bucket of the second half, and the Pacers within one.
In past years, this has been a tough place to win a game. They tried to come back to run this lob play for Derek Anderson, but the pass was a little bit too high.
Foster left wide open, and Jeff Foster gives Indiana the lead at 56-55. Blazers call time. 10:04 for the third. Jalen Rose tagged with another one, his third.
Now Jalen Rose picks up a couple of fouls that he's not happy with. We'll see if Isaiah makes an adjustment. He's guarding a very, very difficult offensive player in Bonzi Wells. And Cheeks is telling him, let's see if we can go back to it. Get that fourth foul. Get this guy out of the game. Get back over there, Pippen. That's what he's telling him.
Wallace against O'Neal one-on-one. Clock's at 5. Derek Anderson, shot clock at 1, and Rasheed did not get it off in time. Word from the Indiana bench is that Jamal Tinsley's left shoulder is stiffened up a little bit, and it's not certain whether or not he will return. Miller stripped by Pippen. Blazers with a takeaway, looking to regain the lead. Pippen against Best. Scotty going glass with the turnaround, and the Blazers back to the lead.
Well, Pippen wasted no time taking advantage of his mismatch. I mean, it was a quick push, and there was no way that they could get help to Travis Best in time. Easy score.
3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Miller thought about the three. Rose got it. Jalen Rose. Indiana back to the lead. Ruben Patterson at the scorer's table getting ready to re-enter the game. Rasheed waits for a double team. Doesn't come. His fadeaway is in and out. O'Neal against Rasheed. O'Neal short with it. Pippen the rebound, and again the Blazers on the push. DA spotting up. Long with the three. Rose as Wells defensively. And Foster tears down the offensive rebound, but loses it. Now regathers. And Indiana with a golden opportunity there, failing to convert.
Well, that's one of those loose plays from Jalen Rose that almost turned out to be a keeper for the Indiana Pacers. I mean, Rose just floated his drive to the hoop up, and that's when all of the excitement started. Steal.
Best. The steal against Pippen, and Scotty takes the foul to stop the fast break.
Scotty Pippen with a foul.
Ruben Patterson's going to come in, as will Damon Stoudemire.
Period number 3, Damon Stoudemire. Returning to the lineup for Portland, Austin Crozier back in for your Pacers.
Austin Crozier is in for Jermaine O'Neal for Indiana.
Well, Travis Best did a great job of anticipating the play, and Pippen knew he was going to get beat. Did the best thing, stopped him before he gets started.
Miller gets by D.A. Bonzi knocks it out of bounds, and Miller with a long look at referee Mike Callahan saying, where's the foul there?
You know, normally Reggie gets pretty animated when he gets whacked like that, but it's just a long look. But you know he'll be working the officials from that contact point on. 8 on the clock.
Crozier looked like a carry. We're going to call a hand check foul. Ruben Patterson.
Ruben Patterson with a foul.
Yeah, he tells the coach it was his fault, and the coach says, yeah, you don't need to tell me that. I know that was your fault. Just don't make the same mistake again.
Patterson commits his second. The Blazers with 2 team fouls here in the third quarter. Rose got Bonzi in the air and one. Bonzi has picked up his third foul.
Pacers getting the ball to people in areas where they can hurt Portland right now, and the guys that can hurt you are Miller and Rose, and you let Jalen Rose spin off you. He's not only going to make that shot, but he's going to get fouled as well.
Rose with 10, give him 11. And Indiana, a 4-point lead. That's their largest. Blazers have led it by as many as 11. Patterson sets the screen, off-screen roll. Rubin laying it in gently. Jeff Foster flew by him, bit on the fake. And the Blazer deficit is 2.
The Blazer defense here in the top of the third quarter hasn't been quite as good as it was in the first 2 periods. The ball is moving pretty freely for Crozier and the Indiana Pacers.
Indiana ran the shot clock down to 3 before Crozier threw that one up. Derek Anderson thought about it. Will take it all the way. Scoop and score, and he's fouled. Oh, what a play by D.A.
Coaches will lose their mind when they see these kind of fouls, because if you're going to foul them, don't let them shoot it, because then the result is a 3-point play. You've got to make the decision as a defender when you're out of position what you're going to give up, what you're going to allow.
A rare miss from Derek Anderson. 13 points and 6 assists from Derek. We're even at 61. Foster wants it. He's got Derek Anderson on him defensively. Rose missing a 3, and Dale Davis is there to snag the rebound. So the Blazers had a shorter man on Foster, were able to dodge a little bit of a bullet there. 6 minutes to go, third quarter. Stoudemire tries to take Best, gets the step. Oh, and it spun out, but there's Dale Davis.
Dale Davis.
Double D, the offensive rebound, and the putback. He's got 9 and 12 boards. Crozier spotting up. Derek Anderson, the tip rebound. Blazers up 2, looking for more. Over the top, Ruben Patterson. Lost Reggie Miller.
Well, he lost him, but there was no pressure on Derek Anderson, so he could find Ruben Patterson right underneath the hoop.
going to keep on shooting. Foster, offensive rebound. Miller. 3-ball Reggie Miller. Blazer lead down to 1 at 65-64. Patterson wants it against Crozier. Shot clock is at 8. Backdoor cut by D.A. and Rubin brought it to him deep.
Same play twice. Reggie's gotten beaten because he's trying to overplay, and when he reacts to that first swing of the ball, he's beaten.
Crozier sets the screen. Clock's at 10. Crozier against Wells. Patterson on the double team. Rose steps up. And an easy rebound for Derek. Damon gets the screen. Patterson on the back down against Jalen Rose. Lost it on the way up, and is that going to be on Rose or on Crozier? If it's on Rose, it would be his 4th. It is. Jalen Rose has picked up his 4th foul, and it comes with 3:55 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Indiana with 14 fouls, the Blazers with 3. Dale Davis sits down, and Sean Kemp is in. Patterson at the line for a couple of free throws. Lots of Blazer fans here. Representative John Pennington and his wife Valerie are here from Carroll's, Washington. They want to say hello. Phil Huddleston and Gary Bucher are in from Portland. They want to say hi to everybody back in the Rose City. Kevin Alexander from Nashville would like to say hi to his brother Barry, and Craig Grogan. They're watching at home on satellite in Nashville. And Ken Simpson, West Albany High School class of 72, says, I want to say hi to my friends and family in Mid-Valley. Consider it done. Free throws make it 69-64. Blazers by 5, and David Jones spots a foul. David Stoudemire commits the foul, his 3rd. That's the 4th foul against the Blazers in the period. Second sellout crowd of the season here at Conseco Fieldhouse, 18,345.
You know, the Pacers have had some matchup advantages, but they haven't been able to get them. Reggie Miller, 3rd string here in the 3rd quarter.
69-67 as Miller continues to fire away. 14 from Miller. Bonzi over Jalen Rose. Got it.
Well, Bonzi should be aware that Rose has got 4 fouls. He's going to probably give him a little bit more room than he would have earlier in the quarter.
Damon got floored with a screen. Miller missing there. Bonzi tipping the rebound, but Harrington and Bonzi Wells gets called for the foul. Bonzi now has 4.
Bonzi Wells with his 4th personal foul.
This has been a real pain for Reese Cheeks the entire ball game. The fact that the Trailblazers have given up so many offensive rebounds, and Bonzi Wells thought he made the block just like Jalen Rose, but he got caught. Bad angle.
Harrington to the free throw line. 78% on the year. And rattles the first one down. Jonathan Bender will come in for Reggie Miller and Scottie Pippen in the ball game. So Pippen, Stoudemire, Kemp, Anderson, and Patterson. Al Harrington came to Indiana from St. Patrick's High School in New York City. 2 free throws for Harrington, and the Blazer lead is 2. Indiana, an excellent free throw shooting team and better than 83%, second in the league. Kemp against Jermaine O'Neal, a little double clutch. Jermaine may have gotten a piece of that. Patterson on the recapture, 7 on the shot clock. Rubin goes to the crossover, lost it. Off of Bender, however. Blazers have it with 3 to shoot. Timeout, Indiana. 2:39 for the 3rd. The Blazers clinging. That's our Taco Bell slam of the game. That assist number from Derek, very nice. He had 10 in the win against Utah, 7 tonight.
Well, the two places that Portland's been winning the game in the paint, 38-22, and on the fast break, 16-9. So if you're Maurice Cheeks, you got to remind your team where they're hurting the opposition. Get the ball up the floor quickly and try to move people around. Don't spend a lot of time out on the perimeter.
Way out from 3 as the shot clock winding down. Derek just wanted to get that on the rim and get a reset of the shot clock. Is that all possible? Under 2.5 to go, third quarter.
Good John Bender, you got to look and see what a size advantage I have here. Try to somehow make sure you take advantage of it.
Ruben Patterson running the floor and dunking, and Damon Stoudemire with the assist.
Another fast break opportunity. The Pacers have been slow all night long, and getting back, and you got to make that part of your closing statement to your team. Push, push, push.
Rose over the top of Stoudemire. Harrington will go to the free throw line as he was fouled, and Maurice Cheeks hopping mad off the Blazers bench because of another offensive rebound by Indiana.
Well, he's mad about Jermaine O'Neal. The shot will go up, and he's saying Jermaine O'Neal came over the top in order to keep the ball alive. And you don't call that, but you call the other one.
Kemp had inside position, but got called for the foul. And Harrington back at the free throw line.
Now Mike Callahan getting into it with Maurice Cheeks. Cheeks walked away from him. He didn't like the fact he walked away from him. Right in the middle of my story.
Rude to walk out on a conversation.
That's right. Next time I'm talking to you, you better pay attention.
73-71. Damon against Rose. Kemp is open. Got it. Sean Kemp. Shooting 60% from the floor on the season, and the Blazers by 4. Rose. Pippen deflected it. Blazers can't clear it. Harrington. Ball loose again. Derek Anderson ties him up.
Well, Harrington's a whirling dervish. He'll be all over the place, and sometimes he'll look very good in doing so, and other times bad. That time almost made a big save for the Pacers as Jalen Rose will come out of the ball game.
Travis Best will come back in. Rose with 4 fouls. Bonzi Wells is on the Portland bench with 4 as well. Ruben Patterson called for a jump ball violation, so Indiana will get the possession with 14 on the shot clock and 1:20.
Well, he was moving before the tap. But
that's where being an activity player maybe is more of a detriment than anything else. You can be too active. O'Neal threw it right to Damon Stoudemire. Damon looking for a little help from his friends. Pippen. In and out for Scotty. Indiana dodges a big-time bullet there. Blazers could have gone up 6.
They double on Jermaine O'Neal, and he's having trouble making a decision. Fortunate to get that to Crozier.
Harrington easily. Crozier set it up with the penetration. So instead of the Blazers being up 6, they're only up 2. With 42 seconds to play in the third. Damon, tripped by Crozier, and will go to the free throw line as that's the 15th foul against Indiana.
Got tricked on the play, and Crozier just reached out and leg whipped him, and Damon Stoudemire will go to the line.
Looked like an offensive lineman out there. Did Crozier. Damon has not scored tonight, trying to get his points. First ones of the night from the line. Damon 3 assists so far tonight. As you see his career numbers against Indiana. Damon 1 of 2, and it is a 3-point Blazer lead. Best on the penetration, finding Jermaine O'Neal. In the last 2 trips, Steve, Indiana has penetrated the Blazer defense, and the result has been consecutive dunks for Indiana.
With Travis Best, he's quick enough to get by, so you can't gamble out high, because if you do, the middle is going to be exposed, and that's how they got the score for O'Neal.
4 difference between the 2 clocks. Damon trying to dance around Best, got the step, had it stripped. Still battling for it. Best has it. Damon goes to the floor. Indiana with possession, 5 to go in the quarter. And Pippen commits the foul. That'll put Crozier on the line as the Blazers are over the limit.
Crozier saw Al Harrington ahead of the pack, but he couldn't get that ball in his right hand to really push the ball up the floor, but he was trying to push. As Best goes in and digs it out to start that break.
Crozier good with the first free throw. We're even at 76. Jermaine O'Neal and Bender will sit down. Tinsley and Foster return for Indiana. Blazers will have 4.5 to try to respond. The Blazers playing their first game against Eastern Conference competition, and an offensive rebound. Foster. And Ruben Patterson pulls off the miss. After 3 quarters, nothing has been settled. The Blazers led it by 4 at the break. The Pacers and Blazers are tied at 76. And has it first to start the 4th quarter. Scoring by quarter, Indiana a 27-23 edge to tie it up at 76.
Now they're going to have to pull the trigger. 6 on the clock.
Offensive 3-second call against Indiana. So the Pacers turn it over on their first possession of the final quarter. Pippen, Kemp, Patterson, Wells, and Stoudemire for Portland.
Well, you hear a lot of times that this trio stays out on the floor. The Pacers got 3 high school players out there on the floor, and Harrington, Bender, and O'Neal. And let's see if Portland takes advantage of that youth.
Bonzi, a 3, that's going to be short. And Sean Kemp commits the foul against Jermaine O'Neal, trying to rake it free.
Sean Kemp with a foul. His first on the Blazers in the period.
The oldest guy out on the floor is Travis Best, so Portland's going to see some guys with a lot of energy in white.
And Best drilling a 3 to give Indiana an in, 79-76. Best with 11 off the bench. David has it against Best. Looking for a seam, instead finds Pippen. Kemp is open. Ruben Patterson skies in, but can't corral the rebound. Rasheed Wallace getting ready to return to the Blazer lineup. Best. Kemp the board.
This is when Portland's been able to hurt them, when they've been able to transition defense to offense quickly.
Patterson out of the double team. Kemp goes to the spin, the scoop. Jermaine O'Neal the rebound. O'Neal his 6th board. Indiana with that 3-point lead. Crozier against Pippen. Gets everybody up in the air, but can't finish. And a loose ball foul going to be called as Crozier ends up on the seat of his pants. Sean Kemp, his 4th.
Sean Kemp with a foul on the play, his 4th. 2 on the Blazers.
Got hooked up.
Number 30, Rasheed Wallace back in the lineup.
You get a reputation as being a guy that fouls, you can't get a break. That time Crozier hooked him, trying to get his arm free. The call goes against him. Crozier tweaked his ankle a little bit, and he had problems with his ankle all last season.
Blazers with 2 team fouls here at the top of the 4th quarter. Best. Harrington. Tough shot, but he coached it home anyway. Indiana enjoying its largest lead of the night at 5. Wallace trailing the play and scoring.
Well, the Trailblazers need the sleeping giant to wake up here in order to close this team out. He hasn't had that many chances, and that's really the first jump shot was gone for him in the ball game. Everything else was a miss. The only other field goal a dunk.
Bender continues his hot shooting from 3.
You know, this is a team with a lot of offensive pop.
Bender, 3 threes on the night. And it was the 3 ball and suffocating defense by Indiana that turned the ball game around in the second half for them last night against New York.
But I mean, right now with this unit out on the floor, they have scoring at every position. Wallace reaches in and picks up the foul against this spinning Harrington.
Wallace the foul. Indiana, its largest lead of the night. 84-78 Pacers. Percentage at a shade under 39%.
Now, even though Portland has picked up their offensive rebounding, that is also a department of which Indiana is putting the ball game in. 26 second chance points for the Indiana team.
The NBA average in terms of second chance points is right around 13 or so given up a game. So Indiana has really made their living off of the offensive glass tonight.
And Portland is average. That's your number there around 15 tonight.
Harrington good with the first free throw. And again, mentioned it before, you do not want to continue to put Indiana on the line because they are second in the league in free throw percentage. In fact, they're top 10 in all 3 shooting categories, 5th in field goals, 10 in three-pointers, and 2nd in free throws.
Harrington has made a huge adjustment in his game, and you can see it from the free throw to everything else he does under much better control. Wallace with the miss.
Rashid going to the jump hook, but it's not been falling for him tonight. 4 points for Wallace.
But, you know, on nights when he's not shooting the high percentage, you got to work harder to get the shots. And so, you know, early in the ball game, you could ride Wells, Pippen, but at some point, you're going to have to respond with your big hitter.
Derek Anderson commits the foul, his first, on O'Neal's drive to the rim.
O'Neal is one of those unusual right-handed players that force him back to his right hand when he puts the ball down.
Jermaine O'Neal, 8 points, 7 rebounds. He has 1 block shot. Missing on the first free throw.
Maybe it's the O'Neal that causes him.
It's the surname?
Yeah, well, you know, because the other big guy, has so much trouble with his, and Jermaine is searching for his style. And this is an unusual adjustment for him. He takes a lot of time, then there's a pause, and then he gets back to his shot. Well,
1 of 2 for O'Neal.
you look at something that long, you'll get some tension somewhere.
Yeah. Paralysis by analysis. Dale Davis back in the ball game, back down against Crozier. His turnaround is true.
And Dale Davis has not had many chances tonight. He makes the most of that one.
And a double-double for Dale, 11 points and 12 rebounds. And there's your team foul story, and that could very well play into the outcome of tonight's game. Crozier throws up a 3 ball.
Crozier is shooting a flat shot, and when he's missing, all of his shots will hit the front rim. And he never seems to be able to realize that and make that adjustment.
Pippen draws contact on his way to the rim, and foul is going to be against Al Harrington.
His third. First of the Pacers.
Pippen awarded 2 free throws. Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller are getting ready to check back into the lineup for the Pacers.
Well, if you're Isaiah Thomas, you want to try to build as much of a lead as you can and keep Portland from making a run. I mean, it's been a very tight ball game here in the second half, and he knows Portland is capable of coming back and finishing the game with a rush.
Wallace, offensive rebound. Bonzi on the cut, and Bonzi will go to the free throw line. Bonzi grimacing a little bit. Don't know if he dinged his knee or ankle. He's rubbing his thigh, and maybe we have a coming together of knees. Let's take a look. Yep, with Jermaine O'Neal.
Well, he caught him in the thigh with that knee. But after a really explosive first quarter, Wells has been backtracking since that point and misses that first free throw. Portland is 12 of 18 tonight from the line.
Bonzi and Derek Anderson tied for the team leadership, 15 points apiece. Bonzi misses a pair. And Derek Anderson assigned with guarding Reggie Miller. Rose slips free. Pippen, the rebound, the Blazers down 6. Scotty had it stripped out of bounds to Indiana. Blazers had the answers earlier tonight. Right now, the Pacers up 6. Crozier on the move against Dale Davis. Nowhere to go. Loose ball foul. It's got to be against Crozier as he and Wells come together on the baseline. So the Blazers will regain possession of the basketball with 6:32 to go in the fourth as Crozier had nowhere to go. Bonzi about to execute the steal, and Crozier said, "It's my ball. I'm going home." Crozier is out of the ball game. Harrington is in.
Well, both teams have struggled right here in the last 2 minutes of executing their offense, but if you're down, you don't want to be in that position. They're going to come back to the last shoot that they got, which is from Dale Davis.
1 on the shot clock, and Harrington ties him up. Shot clock violation, second time tonight. The Blazers ran out of time. .6:07 to go in the fourth. Indiana, if they hang on, a 6-2 start would be the best start in the franchise's NBA history. Of course, this was an ABA franchise. There are ABA championship banners, 3 of them hanging from the rafters here at Conseco Fieldhouse. Strong run in the late 60s and early 70s with the red, white, and blue ball. David Jones has requested that there be a time change.
They have to reset the referee.
Oh, they have to reset. Okay.
Up to 6:08.
They're resetting the officials have a battery pack. When they blow their whistle, the clock stops and starts, and so they were out of sync. They had to get them back in sync. All right, Blazers down 6 minutes to go. Miller. How many times have you seen Reggie Miller make big shot after big shot?
Well, again, and when you're going to close out the Indiana Pacers, you got to keep him from shooting. Wallace.
Rashid warming up now. 6 for him and 7 rebounds. Blazers down 6.
But what the Pacers have done is do a better job of screening. So Rose is coming open clean. Miller is coming open clean. Taking a lot of time with each possession. Harrington looking to drive this.
Spinning around Rasheed Wallace.
Tough shot.
A very tough shot. Harrington averaging 11. He's got 18. Rashid rejected by Jermaine O'Neal. Blazers back in transition defense. Jalen Rose gives Indiana a 10-point lead, and the Blazers will call time. 4:54 for the game, and the Pacers have taken a 76-all tie and taken a 10-point lead. Bonzi Wells was with us during the pregame show. Bonzi Wells will dine at Morton's, the preferred steakhouse of the Portland Trail Blazers. Bonzi and the Blazers find themselves down 10. And Indiana much more efficient from the floor here in the fourth.
Well, the defensive energy of the Trailblazers is flattened out, and they're allowing the Pacers to get closer and closer to the three-point line to start the execution of their offense.
Anderson against Best. Dale Davis. Reggie Miller knocks it free. DA a three. Pippen jumping for it. Can't control. Pacers on a run. Miller wants it to set up another three. Bonzi goes for the fake. Miller can't find the bottom.
Well, Reggie was going for the dagger on that one. He didn't catch it clean, and a little bit of hesitation threw him off as Wallace comes back inside. Let's see if he turns on Jermaine O'Neal and starts to go to work. Forget you had a shot blocked, and he tried to come in with the left hand.
Missed with the hook. Jermaine O'Neal called for the foul. Rashid going to the left hand with the hook. O'Neal commits his second foul. That's 14 fouls against the Pacers. Both teams with 4. Wallace at the line.
There's plenty of time left for the Trailblazers to get back in the game, so they shouldn't feel this sense of urgency, and they've got to get back into a rhythm which works for them. They have been better in the paint. They have been better on the break, and those are the two things that they need to focus on. And then when Indiana gets the ball, pressure the guy that's got the ball. Don't let Travis Best have a free run and set the offensive table.
Yeah, you have to make Indiana work. They're the team that expended a lot of energy last night against the Knicks.
Portland comes back with pressure.
Blazers down. Best.
And they're making sure that they get what they want. And, you know, they've come down, they've reset a lot of time, even gone all the way down against the clock. Rose.
Jalen Rose equal to the task. They work the clock down to 2. And the Indiana lead is 10. Anderson gets Best in the air. Pippen against Miller. Clock's at 6, and Pippen throws it to Rose.
And Rose gave a quick push to Best. That's a shot that Travis Best would have let go of. Takes a look at the clock and says, let's work it. Now they come back inside, but each possession, they're coming under 10. Jermaine O'Neal.
Over Rasheed Wallace. The Indiana Pacers second half magic is alive and well. They took down Sacramento. They took down New York. And the Blazers have under 3 to make up a dozen points. Wallace quickly over O'Neal, banking it home.
And Wallace beginning to wake up here. He's got 8 in the quarter. But they got to stop the Indiana Pacers the other end of the floor. And that hasn't been happening. Pippen with the steal.
Takes it away from Best. Best was waiting for a jump ball. Wasn't going to come. Pippen with the wraparound to Double D. Great hustle by Pippen, who looks completely spent physically. Indiana will call timeout. 2:25 for the game. The Blazers and both with a 20. Everybody is shooting 1 plus the penalty from here on out for the final. 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
They took Scottie Pippen out of the ball game. They're going to wall-to-wall pressure. They got the people in to play the passing lane extremely well. Wells, Anderson, and Patterson. And what they've got to do is force someone to be a little hesitant with the pass. right now, Jalen Rose doing what he wants. They get a shot in the air.
Missed it short. Derek Anderson the rebound. 2 minutes to go. Blazers down 8.
You're going to get back in the game.
Oh, Damon nearly turned it over on the travel. Instead, beat Wallace for the hammer.
You got to stay with the attack that's done it. Portland has an overwhelming edge in the paint. Might make that 52 to 30. A big advantage there. Wallace 10 and a quarter.
And Indiana has countered with a very active and accurate 3-ball. 8 on the shot clock. Rose trying to slip baseline against Wallace. Rejected and fouled.
Foul is going to be against
Rasheed
Wallace.
Rasheed his second. Jalen Rose will be at the free throw line.
Well, the mistake that Rasheed makes is giving Jalen Rose that baseline. You know, when you give a guy that, you almost got to hope that you make that block. And at this stage of the game, Paul is probably going to go against you, even if you think you made the block. You are in. Can people feel that?
Yes, Rose good with the first free throw. One more for Rose. Very deliberate at the line. The leading scorer for Indiana at 24 a game. And Rose not up to those numbers at this point, but 17.
But they have real good balance in their attack. You know, when you have a lot of offensive players out there, one player's probably not going to dominate. That's what won in the game for them last night. Damon's trying to penetrate and finish the play.
What a teardrop by Damon. Down 6 now. Ruben Patterson and Al Harrington.
Well, Patterson's lost his mind.
Tom Washington and David Jones get between the two players. And let's see the way this is sorted out. I think double foul or double technical.
They come down to the other end. There's a push right there. Not that much contact.
So technical fouls both sides. Scottie Pippen will return and Ruben Patterson will sit down.
Well, Reggie Miller takes Al Harrington out of there. He tells him, get away from there. Just get away from the whole thing and don't get involved in any conversation with Ruben Patterson.
Meanwhile, Reggie has used up enough rosin to last most teams for a season. The officials getting short-tempered now, speaking in sharp tones to the scoring crew here in Indiana, just trying to help out. So everybody's a little hot under the collar here with 1:09 to go and the Blazers down 6.
The Pacers thought they were shooting free throws, and they call a double technical. They take Ruben Patterson out of the ball game. Al Harrington stays in, but Reggie wanted to make sure that there was none of the exchange about, come on, bring it to me, so you could escalate this thing. They think they're going to win the game, and they don't want to lose Al Harrington, who's been critical for them here in the second half.
Damon Stoudemire commits the foul. He and Pippen trying to collaborate on a double team against Travis Best. And Mike Callahan has been at the center of every controversial call that the Blazers have argued tonight. And this is no exception.
I thought his nickname was Duke.
Yeah, you know, the first game last year, they filled out the scorer's report, and instead of Mike, they put Duke. Never could figure that one out.
Irish, you know.
Best at the free throw line, good with the first, and the Pacers hit the century mark with 1:07 to play. Indiana, as you get a look at Mike Callahan, Indiana has not lost at home this season. They are 3-0 at home and 2-2 on the road.
Well, they're trying to get back to that great home court team that they used to be as Best knocks in 2 free throws.
1:07 to play.
A terrific start in that first quarter when they got 31. In the second half, total 40 points. Indiana Pacers 52.
Well, and it was a Rashid missing, Derek Anderson tipping it out of bounds. It was a 58-35 second half edge for Indiana against the Knicks last night.
Well, the Knicks still suffering because they lost to Golden State at home tonight.
Badly, I should say, 90-71. We will see the Knicks on Tuesday night. That'll be our next telecast from the world's most famous arena. Steve Kerr commits the foul with 53.6 to go. Blazers go to Detroit to play the Pistons tomorrow at the Palace of Auburn Hills. That's a radio-only game.
Remember 2 years ago, the Indiana Pacers were a team that played for the championship. And after that loss to the Lakers, they decided we got to go with some young guys. So they kind of broke up the team and limped to a playoff position a year ago, 41-41. And now the young players are starting to pay some dividends for Donnie Walsh and Isaiah Thomas, as all of them have been a big force tonight against Portland.
It has certainly been a total team effort from Indiana tonight. Rose now misses 2 free throws. Blazers need points and need them in a hurry. Derek Anderson, a 3. It's through with 44.6. Blazers down 5.
You know, Portland's got to stop the clock. They got to foul in order to do so, so they foul Travis Best.
Damon commits his 4th. And Best has done a good job of getting himself to the free throw line where he has been very efficient. Short but in for Travis Best, who was born in the birthplace of basketball, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Don't tell anybody from Indiana. They don't buy it.
They love him anyway right now because he's hit 2 free throws. Free throws by Best give Indiana a 7-point lead, 103-96. 39.1 to go. Back after this. $50 to Portland Parks and Recreation for each 3-point field goal made by the Blazers during televised games. Tonight, the Blazers 4 triples. That adds $200 to the 76 points per Parks program. That makes the total donation $700.
So Portland is out of full timeout. They only have a 20 left. The Indiana Pacers have 2 and a 20. They're not looking to stop the game. And Portland will try to come back with a quick score, then try to make a steal and foul in order to try to get back in it.
Missed connections. Bonzi Wells tosses it to the Indiana bench.
Everybody's trying to figure out where you throwing it to.
They'll put a couple more seconds on the clock.
Nobody touched the ball.
Exactly.
They went from out of bounds to out of bounds.
Yeah, clock never should have started, but it did anyway. So 39.1 goes back up there.
Now you're in the same position you were before, where you're still trying to make them make a mistake, and when they catch the ball, you want to try to foul somebody, not let a lot of time get off the clock.
And Indiana with all strong free throw shooters out there.
Now it looks like they're going to let them dribble the clock down on this possession.
Rose against Kerr. Shot clock at 5. Pacers by 9, and that'll be your door slammer. DA working against Best. That's a 3. Jermaine O'Neal boards in Indiana. All they have to do is get it across midcourt, and the Pacers will move to 6-2. The best start in franchise history in the NBA era in Indianapolis. On consecutive nights, the Pacers with second-half comebacks to knock off the Knicks and now the Blazers. Your final score, 105-96.